Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India News Hour, India's voice to the world. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Coming up in the next hour, India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in the 21st ASEAN-India Summit in Laos, reiterates India's support for ASEAN unity, ASEAN centrality and ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. India's Prime Minister Modi holds talks with his Japanese and New Zealand counterparts on the margins of the ASEAN-India Summit in Laos. The last rites of Ratan Tata performed with full state honours. India's Home Minister Amit Shah and other senior leaders pay their last respects. Israel warns of a lethal, precise and surprising strike on Iran as its Prime Minister speaks to US President. And South Korea's Han Kang wins the 2024 Nobel Literature Prize for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on a two-day visit to Laos. On Thursday, he took part in an ASEAN summit where he presented a 10-point plan for boosting tourism and green energy, among others. DD India's Meghna Dev reports from Laos's capital, Vientiane.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Vientiane to participate in the 21st ASEAN-India Summit. Calling the upcoming century the Asian century, Prime Minister Modi highlighted the fintech sector gaining ground in ASEAN countries, joint defense exercises, increase in direct flight connectivity and scholarships to ASEAN students. The joint statement highlighted the support for full and effective implementation of the Declaration on the Conduct of the Parties in South China Sea and the early conclusion of an effective and substantive Code of Conduct in the South China Sea.
हम एक दूसरे के पड़ोसी हैं, ग्लोबल साउथ के साथी सदस्य हैं और विश्व में तेज गति से ग्रो करने वाला क्षेत्र है। हम शांतिप्रिय देश हैं, एक दूसरे की राष्ट्रीय अखंडता और संप्रभुता का सम्मान करते हैं और अपने युवाओं के उज्जवल भविष्य के प्रति हम कमिटेड हैं। मेरा मानना है कि 21वीं सदी एशियन सेंचुरी भारत और आसियान देशों की सेंचुरी है। आज जब विश्व के कई हिस्सों में संघर्ष और तनाव की स्थिति है, तब भारत और आसियान की मित्रता, समन्वय, संवाद और सहयोग बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है।
मोदी जी, आपका लाओस से हार्दिक स्वागत है।
On his arrival, Prime Minister Narendra Modi received a grand community reception where loud children chanted Sanskrit shlokas and loud women performed bihu as well as greeted Prime Minister Modi in Hindi.
Very happy to perform. So it was not so tough and a little bit tough, but because of Modi we can do anything and anytime. It was so happy moment for us. Also for the team, they're very happy to perform in front of. And when Modi ji said like once more, it's like I got the world,
Prime Minister Narendra Modi witnessed an episode of Lao Ramayan called Phalak Phalam. The Archaeological Survey of India, involved in restoring the Watpu temple, presented the progress of work done to Prime Minister Modi. He also participated in a blessing ceremony by senior Buddhist monks in Central Buddhist Fellowship Organizations of Lao PDR. Meghna Dev's report for DD India.
Prime Minister Modi announced a 10-point plan for boosting India's ties with ASEAN. First and foremost, celebrating 2025 as the ASEAN-India Year of Tourism, for which India would make available $5 million towards joint activities. Number two, to celebrate a decade of India's Act East policy by holding people-centric activities such as a youth summit, startup festival, hackathon, music festival, ASEAN-India network of think tanks and the Daily Dialogue. Three, to organize an ASEAN-India Women Scientists Conclave under the ASEAN-India Science and Technology Development Fund. Number four, doubling the number of scholarships at Nalanda University and provision of new scholarships for ASEAN students at agricultural universities in India. Reviewing the ASEAN-India Trade in Goods Agreement by 2025. Number six, enhancing disaster resilience, for which India would make available $5 million. Number seven, initiating a new health minister's track towards building health resilience. Eighth, initiating a regular mechanism of ASEAN-India cyber policy dialogue towards strengthening digital and cyber resilience. Number nine, a workshop on green hydrogen. And last but not the least, India invited the ASEAN leaders to join a Plant a Tree for Mother campaign towards building climate resilience. ASEAN and India released a joint statement on advancing digital transformation. The leaders reaffirmed their commitment to promote the ASEAN-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. They also recognized the significant role of digital public infrastructure and promoting inclusivity, efficiency and innovation in public service delivery. The leaders appreciated the contribution made by India towards implementation of ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2025. They acknowledged the development of the ASEAN Digital Master Plan 2026 to 2030, which aims to expedite digital transformation across ASEAN in line with the common goals of ASEAN Community Vision 2045. The leaders appreciated India for setting up the ASEAN-India Fund for Digital Future, focusing on cooperation in digital transformation in ASEAN countries. They also declared to strengthen cooperation in digital public infrastructure, financial technology, cyber security, artificial intelligence, capacity building and knowledge sharing, sustainable financing and investment, implementation mechanism as well. Prime Minister Modi held talks with Japan's new Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru on the sidelines of the ASEAN-India Summit in Laos. Prime Minister Modi congratulated Prime Minister Ishiba on his new responsibility and wished him success in leading Japan to greater heights. Mr. Modi said that India will continue to accord the highest priority to its ties with Japan. The two leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further strengthening India-Japan special, strategic and global partnership through enhanced cooperation in a wide range of areas, including trade and investment. The two leaders said that India and Japan are indispensable partners for a peaceful, safe and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. They renewed their commitment to working together to achieve this goal. Prime Minister Modi also met with New Zealand's Prime Minister Christopher Luxon on the margins of the ASEAN-India Summit. It was the first meeting between the two leaders. The two Prime Ministers discussed about ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation across a range of areas, including trade and investment, defense and security, space and people-to-people ties. Mr. Modi invited Mr. Luxon to visit India. And joining me from Vientiane is my colleague Meghna Dev. Meghna, recap for us day one of Prime Minister Modi's engagements there.
Yes, Ramesh, very important and a long day of engagements for Prime Minister Narendra Modi today. And he is on his two-day visit, as we know, 10th and 11th of October. First day, obviously, he has attended the 21st ASEAN India Summit. Now, very importantly, first, if we look at the reception, while the size of the diaspora here in Vientiane, in Laos, is really small, but there was a lot of excitement in the people to, to receive Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He was here, obviously, in 2016, and this time around, he's again here for the summit. So this, he was received by women from Laos, where they welcomed him in the Hindi language. He also saw a Bihu performance that was performed by Lao women of Lao origin. So all of that, and besides that, not only this, Sanskrit chanting by children from Laos. The shlokas were chanted by the children. So that definitely give it a wholesome experience of what our shared cultural heritage is. So the welcome itself encapsulated all of that. Besides that, he watched the Ramayana, and it was performed by a very renowned and very well known troupe from Luang Prabang. Besides that, he also got a sacred thread tied by the Buddhist monks who were chanting prayers for him. So, if we see the first half or maybe the first few hours of his visit, did completely focus on the soft part, the cultural linkages, the deep-rooted shared heritage that India has with ASEAN, and specifically in these terms, we will call it the ties that we have with Laos. And, Falak Phalam, that is the Lao Ramayana, was performed for Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and he did witness that as well. Not only this, there is, he also was shown the progress that has happened in the restoration of the Wat Phut temple, and the ASI officials are working here, and they've been working here since 15 years. And not only in Laos, if we see the ASI officials are working in Cambodia, we know they're working in Myanmar, they're working in Vietnam, and to restore the Hindu temples, to restore temples. So ASI is working for that. So that he was Prime Minister Narendra Modi was briefed about that as well. Now, when we're talking about the Prime Minister's participation in the 21st ASEAN India Summit, he did talk about the trade, which has doubled to over 130 billion US dollars. ASEAN today is one of India's largest trade and investment partners. Besides that, Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke about flight connectivity. Now, currently we have flight connectivity established with 7 ASEAN countries, and there is a fintech collaboration that is gaining more ground. Significant progress, as I said, made in the cultural heritage aspect. So a number of things today, have taken place in terms of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's engagement, and very importantly was also the review that will be that is expected to be completed, the review of the India-ASEAN FTA by 2025. So these are some of the things that are very important on the ASEAN aspect.
Indeed.
Besides that, obviously, the bilateral with the Japanese Prime Minister. This was his first meeting with the Japanese Prime Minister, so to say. And the Japanese Prime Minister's also first visit outside the country, where he attended this multilateral summit. And, there were conversations on semiconductors. And when we talk about the New Zealand part, we did see conversations on agriculture, conversations on, and he also, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also invited Prime Minister Lakshman to come to India on a convenient date. So there were multiple engagements for today, and we will also be looking forward to the engagements tomorrow.
All right, we'll leave it there. Meghna, thank you. Appreciate it. There was Meghna Dev reporting there from Laos's capital, Vientiane. Upon arrival of Prime Minister Modi in Laos, the women of Lao origin welcomed him warmly. The women expressed happiness over meeting Prime Minister Modi. Take a listen.
The moon, and so excited to have met him today. So he really friendly and he greeting us. So we are Lao, we are all here so delighted to meet him today.
We are so excited to welcome Pradhan Mantri Modi ji to Laos. We are so happy to see him today, and we hope he enjoy and happy in Laos.
We are the volunteer from Arts of Living in Laos, and today we are very proud to get the warm welcome for the Prime Minister of India, Pradhan Mantri Modi ji. Welcome to Laos. We are really proud to come to see him today. Yes, it's like I'm over the moon right now.
Pradhan Mantri Modi ji Afghans Laos ne has this Swakatek. I'm very happy to join and meet Pradhan Mantri, and I ever went to India one time, and beautiful country and kind people there, and food is very yummy. I'm really happy about India almost.
After meeting the real person of the Prime Minister of India, I'm feeling very, amazing.
And still to come on DD India News Hour. Hurricane Milton leaves a trail of destruction in the US state of Florida. And tributes pour in for Ratan Tata.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect them. Join me every week as I connect the dots to unravel hidden designs in statecraft, mysteries, and decode issues that matter to you. Watch Connecting the Dots with me at these times on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. Former chairperson of the Tata Group, Ratan Tata, died at the age of 86 at Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Wednesday, where he was admitted for the past few days because of age-related illnesses. His hard work over 5 decades, his leadership and vision, and his contributions to nation building shall never be forgotten.
India's industry titan has passed away. Ratan Tata, a modest business tycoon, breathed his last in a Mumbai hospital late Wednesday night. He was 86 and had been admitted to Mumbai's Breach Candy Hospital on Monday due to a sudden drop in blood pressure. He was in critical condition in the intensive care unit. Born in 1937 to Sunu and Naval Tata, he attended Campion School and Cathedral and John Connon School at Bombay. At 17, he left for Cornell University in New York, where he studied architecture and engineering. In 1962, Tata joined the Tata Group as an assistant in Tata Industries. Later, he served as the group's resident representative in Australia. After returning to India in 1970, he had a short stint at Tata Consultancy Services before joining the board of Tata Sons in 1974 as a director. He was chairman of India's national carrier Air India between 1986 and 1989. On March 25, 1991, he succeeded J.R.D. Tata as chairman of Tata Sons and the Tata Trusts, initiating major restructuring efforts. As chairman, Tata led the major Tata companies, including Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, and more. Under his leadership, the group's revenues grew to over $100 billion in 2011-12. Tata, a teetotaler and non-smoker, consciously chose to remain single. In 1998, Tata launched the Indica, India's first fully indigenous passenger car. Initially criticized by auto analysts, the Indica became a bestseller due to its excellent fuel economy, powerful engine, and aggressive marketing. A newer version, the Indica V2, quickly became a mass favorite. Tata Motors also successfully exported the car to South Africa. The success of the Indica played a key role in Tata Motors' growth. In 2008, Tata launched the Tata Nano, a budget-friendly people's car. He was awarded the Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian honor, in 2008. In December 2012, Tata stepped down as chairman of Tata Sons after 50 years with the Tata Group and was conferred the honorary title of Chairman Emeritus of Tata Sons, Tata Industries, Tata Motors, Tata Steel, and Tata Chemicals. As Chairman Emeritus, Ratan Tata spearheaded significant reforms, including enforcing retirement ages and promoting younger leaders to senior roles. After stepping down, he became a prominent investor in Indian startups, backing a diverse range of companies. His legacy of elevating the Tata Group, his philanthropy, and his commitment to social causes will continue to inspire generations. Condolence messages have been pouring in from all corners of the globe since the news of his passing broke. India's President, Prime Minister, Vice President, and many other leaders have paid tribute, describing him as a visionary and an extraordinary human being. International dignitaries have also honoured the titan. Ratan Tata's mortal remains were displayed at the National Centre for Performing Arts in South Mumbai for the public to pay their last respects. New York's Cornell University is also mourning the loss of Ratan Tata. Alumnus and global leader, he left an indelible mark on the university through historic donations supporting scholarships, technological innovations and other causes. As a former trustee of Cornell, he was the driving force behind the Tata Group. In a solemn occasion marking the end of an era, people from all walks of life gathered to pay their last respects to the legendary industrialist and philanthropist Ratan Tata. The lawns of NCPA at Nariman Point in Mumbai became a sea of mourners united in grief and admiration. In attendance was India's Home Minister Amit Shah, who represented the government of India at the last rites. Tata's contributions to industry and philanthropy were celebrated by countless individuals, each reflecting on his monumental impact on the nation. Ratan Tata's final journey concluded at the Worldly Crematorium in Mumbai, where his last rites were performed with full state honours. In a mark of respect, the national flag flew at half-mast in government offices across the state. The Maharashtra Chief Minister announced a state mourning on Thursday, leading to the suspension of all entertainment programs. This is a profound moment of reflection and remembrance of a man whose legacy will continue to inspire generations. Bureau Report, DD India.
India mourns the passing of Ratan Tata, whose last rites were performed in Mumbai on Thursday. India's President and Prime Minister led the nation in paying tributes to Tata. Tributes poured in from all over the world.
The final rites of the esteemed Indian industrialist Ratan Tata took place in Mumbai. Condolences poured in from around the globe. Both the President of India, Draupadi Murmu, and the Prime Minister of India expressed their sympathies. On the social media platform X, the President shared her heartfelt message. In the sad demise of Sri Ratan Tata, India has lost an icon who blended corporate growth with nation building and excellence with ethics. He inspired seasoned professionals and young students alike. His contribution to philanthropy and charity is invaluable. Prime Minister Narendra Modi described Ratan Tata as a visionary business leader, a compassionate soul, and an extraordinary human being. Recalling his interactions with Tata, Prime Minister said, "I would meet him frequently in Gujarat when I was the Chief Minister. We would exchange views on diverse issues. I found his perspectives very enriching. These interactions continued when I came to Delhi, extremely pained by his passing away. My thoughts are with his family, friends and admirers in this sad hour. Om Shanti." India's Home Minister Amit Shah also condoled the demise, stating that the veteran industrialist's legacy will continue to guide the future generations.
रतन टाटा जी को बहुत मनपूर्वक श्रद्धांजलि देता हूं। रतन टाटा जी, मेरा उनसे व्यक्तिगत भी गहरा परिचय रहा, परंतु न केवल भारतीय उद्योग जगत के, पूरे विश्व के एक सम्मानीय उद्योजक रहे।
Nepal's Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli expressed sadness over Ratan Tata's passing. He wrote, and I quote, "Deeply saddened by the passing of Ratan Tata, a true titan of industry. His visionary leadership in business as well as philanthropy touched a vast number of lives, reaching far beyond India." Aditya Birla Group Chairman Kumar Mangalam Birla remarked that Ratan Tata epitomized the finest ideals of the storied Tata Group.
देश के लिए बहुत बड़ा नुकसान है, not just for corporate India but for the country as a whole. I think the impact of his work is quite unparalleled, and I think we should remember him through the richness of his work.
Infosys co-founder Sudha Murthy recalled her memories of Ratan Tata at Bengaluru's Indian Institute of Science.
He was simple, straight, a man of integrity, care for employees. It was very high in his case, and he was a true Tata.
Business leaders and admirers honor Ratan Tata for his humility, integrity, and unwavering commitment to ethical practices. As the nation grieves his passing, his legacy endures in the hearts of many. His vision and dedication have left an indelible mark, inspiring future generations to follow in his footsteps. Syed Absarul Hassan's report for DD India.
Right, let's get you some world news now. The situation in Beirut and Gaza remains volatile following Israeli airstrikes that targeted Hezbollah and Hamas-linked sites, resulting in significant civilian casualties and damage. As ground clashes intensify along southern Lebanon's frontier, smoke billows over the city. In response, Turkey has evacuated around 2,000 of its citizens from Beirut. Meanwhile, Israel continues its targets in Gaza, asking residents of North Gaza to move south. Amidst this turmoil, Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz reaffirmed Germany's commitment to supply arms to Israel, while Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi lobbied for support in the Arab states. Diplomatic efforts are ongoing, but no ceasefire is in sight. Syed Absarul Hassan has more.
The situation in Beirut remains tense following recent Israeli air strikes that targeted various locations in the city. The bombings, which reportedly aimed at military sites linked to Hezbollah, have led to significant damage and civilian casualties. Smoke rose over Beirut's southern suburbs at daybreak in Lebanon on Thursday. Ground clashes between Israeli forces and Hezbollah are spreading along southern Lebanon's mountainous frontier. Foreign nationals continue to leave the capital Beirut. Turkey evacuated some 2,000 of its citizens stranded in Lebanon. Israel also continues its bombing campaign in Gaza, having asked the people of North Gaza to evacuate and move south. Meanwhile, Palestinians search among rubble, debris and clouds of dust for people injured in Israeli strikes that hit a clinic hosting displaced individuals in Gaza City. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has refuted accusations that the German government would no longer supply arms to Israel.
Ich will ganz persönlich sagen,
I would not say this personally. We have not decided not to supply weapons. We have supplied weapons and we will supply weapons.
wir haben Waffen geliefert und wir werden Waffen liefern.
Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has been visiting various Arab states to lobby for support after Tehran launched missile attacks on Israel. During this series, he held a meeting with Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani in Doha. The two discussed the latest development in the region, especially in Gaza and Lebanon. Araghchi also met Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Riyadh on Wednesday to discuss regional developments. Diplomatic efforts are underway to address the crisis and promote dialogue to stabilize West Asia. Syed Absarul Hassan reporting for DD India.
South Korean author Han Kang has won the 2024 Nobel Prize in Literature. The prize, given by the Swedish Academy, is worth $1.1 million. Han Kang started her career in 1993 and has published a number of poems. Her debut short story collection, Love of Yesu, was released in 1995. She is the second South Korean to win a Nobel Prize ever, but the first to win the Literature Prize.
The Nobel Prize in Literature for 2024 is awarded to South Korean author Han Kang for her intense poetic prose that confronts historical traumas and exposes the fragility of human life.
All right, now take a look at what else is making news around the world. Latvia's lawmakers approved final amendments to the education law on Thursday, banning elementary school students from using cell phones unless for educational purposes. Starting next year, students in grades 1 through 6 will be prohibited from using their phones in school. Tycoon Jititsara, a lawmaker turned activist, has called for an investigation into an elephant center in Thailand's Chiang Mai that failed to relocate its elephants before severe flooding struck the area, resulting in the deaths of 2 blind elephants. Northern Thailand has experienced heavy flooding in recent weeks, exacerbated by Typhoon Yagi and seasonal monsoon rains. Still to come on DD India News Hour. An expert take on the ASEAN-India Summit held in Laos. Hurricane Milton leaves a trail of destruction in the U.S. state of Florida. You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. A quick recap of the headlines. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi participates in the 21st ASEAN-India Summit in Laos. It reiterates India's support for ASEAN unity, ASEAN centrality and ASEAN outlook on the Indo-Pacific. India's Prime Minister Modi holds talks with his Japanese and New Zealand counterparts on the margins of the ASEAN-India Summit in Laos. The last rites of Ratan Tata performed with full state honours. India's Home Minister Amit Shah and other senior leaders pay their last respects. Right, going back to the top story, the ASEAN-India Summit held in Laos. Joining me is Ambassador JS Mul. He is a former Indian ambassador to the Netherlands and Oman. Ambassador Mul, welcome to DD India News Hour. How do you view the one optics and two outcomes of the ASEAN-India Summit?
Good evening and thank you.
Welcome.
The ASEAN-India Summit is particularly important in my view because it marks the confluence of two fundamental planks of India's foreign policy. One is our neighborhood first policy, because ASEAN, the Southeast Asian region and the ASEAN countries are part of our extended neighborhood. The second, as part of our Look East policy, which has now been upgraded to the Act East policy.
Right.
So these are two very fundamental planks of India's foreign policy, and I think ASEAN is right in the middle of it. As you have just pointed out, Prime Minister took the opportunity to reiterate to ASEAN the importance of ASEAN unity, the importance of ASEAN centrality, which we have always been emphasizing with regard to all ASEAN-centric organizations. That is on the substance of it. Yes, the optics have been very good. I've been watching on your channel the kind of warm welcome which the Honorable Prime Minister received, the various programs. He has attended the Luang Prabang cultural show. There was the Buddhist blessing ceremony, which we are just seeing. So I think, yes, and of course, the entire ASEAN leadership is there in these summits to interact with our Prime Minister. It is also opportune that the 21st India-ASEAN Summit coincides with the 10th anniversary of the Act East policy. And therefore, I think it is in that sense even important.
Indeed. Ambassador Mukul, Prime Minister Modi says in his intervention there at the summit, India-ASEAN friendship is important amid global conflicts. What did he mean by that?
No, basically what he is saying is that first the summit did two things. One is it reviewed where we are in terms of India-ASEAN over the last many years, particularly the last decade, and then, of course, charted the course for the future. As part of this, what he is trying to say is that these are India and ASEAN today are two major poles in this multipolar world as we view it, and they're coming together. And he referred to the Asian century, the 21st century being the Asian century, and in that the two poles of ASEAN and India will play a very important role with regard to peace, stability, security, etc.
Ambassador Mukul, you rightly referred to India's Act East policy, which completes 10 years this year. In your estimation, how has it redefined or reshaped India's engagements with the Indo-Pacific in the last decade?
If we can just take a step back,
sure.
India started with its Look East policy in the 1990s. In fact, while we have always had excellent relations bilaterally with each of the ASEAN countries, these have been supplemented and complemented, and if I may say, reinforced by the India-ASEAN at the multilateral or regional level.
Right.
We started with what is called the India-ASEAN Sectoral Dialogue Partnership in 1992. It was upgraded to a full dialogue partnership in 1995. It was further upgraded to Summit Dialogue Partnership in 2002, and then to Strategic Dialogue Partnership in 2012, and now we have since 2022 ASEAN-India Comprehensive Strategic Partnership. Basically, this itself shows the kind of progress that has been made through the evolution in terms of the India-ASEAN relationship. And that, I think, is absolutely important. In between, we have also had the commemorative summits, particularly the last one in 2018, which was the commemorative summit to mark the 25 years of India-ASEAN relationship or partnership. And going forward, we will again see a lot happening, which has been today put forward with regard to the future, charting of the future by the leaders of the two sides.
Indeed. Ambassador Mukul, people-to-people ties is a key or central pillar of India's engagements with the countries in its neighborhood and beyond, including ASEAN. We keep hearing a lot of talk about cultural connect. In that context, do you think there's scope to leverage or harness India's age-old ties with ASEAN?
No, absolutely. I think the Lao chair, the Laotian chair of the summit has very, very appropriately decided on the theme of connectivity and resilience. And as part of both of this, I think there's a lot to be done with regard to people-to-people contacts and connects. We heard of the fact that there are 7 of the 10 ASEAN countries where we have direct flights. I think the Prime Minister announced that we will soon have it to Brunei also. Right. There are scholarships, 300 scholarships being given to ASEAN at the Nalanda University, and I think the Prime Minister again announced that we would be doubling this, not just for the Nalanda, but also for the agri-tech universities. There is also the new Indian embassy established in Timor-Leste. There are, of course, a large number of other people-centric activities that have been said. In fact, as part of his 10-point program, which he announced, there are a large number of areas. For example, if I can just give just a few examples, sure. Youth Summit, the Startup Festival, the Hackathon, the Music Festival, the ASEAN India Think Tanks Network, Delhi Dialogue, etc. So I think all these are actually people connect. And the other important thing, I think, which was announced is an ASEAN-India tourism year in 2025. Now, I mean, there are, as I said, 10-point program, a large number of it's a very rich menu of decisions going forward. But I think the point that you asked specifically, a lot to do with regard to people-to-people contact. In fact, there is also the women scientists thing mentioned, ASEAN-India Women Scientists Conclave. There is, of course, the doubling of the scholarships, which I referred to. And then, of course, on the resilience side, number of issues.
Ambassador Mukul, sometimes what takes place on the margins of a summit becomes equally, if not more important. In that context, how do you view Prime Minister Modi's talks with the leaders of Japan and New Zealand on the margins of the ASEAN-India Summit in Laos?
See, every multilateral or regional meeting or summit has the great advantage of these meetings on the sidelines.
Right.
Sometimes there are formal meetings on the sidelines, as has happened in, today. There are sometimes, because of scheduling issues, there are pull-aside meetings. But I personally think these are all absolutely important. The one great importance of today's two meetings that you referred to specifically, I think you can understand that these were the very first meetings between the Prime Minister and the Prime Ministers of Japan and New Zealand.
Right.
Japan had a new Prime Minister, so obviously that was the first meeting with Prime Minister Modi with Shigeru Ishida. And with regard to New Zealand, it was also the first meeting with Mr. Christopher Luzon. So again, as you would say, yes, these are not full bilaterals in the sense, but I think they make a very important point. There is a obviously, the leaders can only visit that many countries, but these occasions, the summit sideline meetings are, as you rightly pointed out, as important, if sometimes not, maybe even more important in some ways.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for. I will have to leave it at that. May I thank you, Ambassador Mukul, for joining us and sharing your thoughts and insights with our viewers at home and abroad. Thank you for your time. Much appreciated. Right, moving on, extremely dangerous Hurricane Milton made landfall in the U.S. state of Florida. It's now weakened to a Category 1 storm as it moves away from the western coast. It's killed 4 people and millions of homes were affected in the city of Venice.
Hurricane Milton, that has torn through Florida, bringing tornadoes, floods and storm, made a landfall near the western coast of Florida. Not mere weeks following the destruction and devastation that Hurricane Helene brought to 6 states across the United States, another hurricane, Milton, knocked out power for more than 3 million people in the state. The Category 3 storm took life of over 4 people in the St. Lucie County. By Thursday morning, Milton weakened to a Category 1 storm, but was still registering powerful winds of up to 140 kilometers per hour.
The storm was significant, but thankfully this was not the worst case scenario. The storm did weaken before landfall, and the storm surge, as initially reported, has not been as significant overall as what was observed for Hurricane Helene. Right now, it looks like Sarasota County had the most significant storm surge, likely somewhere between 8 to 10 feet. And remember, with Helene, we had 15 to 20 feet up in Taylor County.
Pieces of the non-retractable roof were seen flapping in the wind as the hurricane tore the roof of a home baseball stadium, which was used as a shelter for first responders in the build-up to the response to the storm.
I don't know what to say. It's a lot. Born and raised here, never seen nothing like this.
Had carport damage at Ian, and these were carports were just finished being installed about a month ago.
In the Tampa area, the storm toppled trees and threw debris across roadways and downed power lines. Milton also spawned at least 19 tornadoes, causing damage in numerous counties and destroying around 125 homes. As of Thursday morning, more than 2,200 U.S. flights were cancelled. Scientists say extreme rainfall and destructive storms are occurring with greater severity and frequency as temperatures rise due to climate change. As warmer ocean surfaces release more water vapor, they provide more energy for storms as they form. Tripti Tripathi for DD India.
India's Home Minister Amit Shah attended the 119th annual session of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry at Vigyan Bhavan in New Delhi on Thursday. The minister says that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has set 2047 as a target for achieving the status of a developed country and to become the third largest economic power in the world by the year 2027.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने 2 लक्ष्य पूरे देश के सामने 2047 जब देश की आजादी की शताब्दी मनाई जाएगी, भारत पूर्ण विकसित राष्ट्र के रूप में दुनिया के सामने खड़ा है। और दूसरा, 2027 तक हम दुनिया की तीसरे नंबर का अर्थतंत्र बनकर दुनिया के अर्थतंत्र की तारीफ। ये दो लक्ष्य को सिद्ध करने के लिए अनेक विध प्रयास, अनेक विध पॉलिसी और अनेक विध प्रोग्राम लेकर मोदी जी 10 साल से लगातार प्रयास कर रहे हैं।
And now take a look at what else is making news in India. India's Minister for Culture and Tourism, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, attended the Viksit Bharat Ambassador Yuva Connect program in India's western state of Maharashtra on Thursday. Addressing the youth and student community at the event, Shekhawat said that now is the time and opportunity to contribute towards nation building to bring about Viksit Bharat, and calls to become messengers and defenders of India's culture, traditions and values. Fans of actor Rajinikanth on Thursday celebrated the launch of his film Vettayan. The film was released on Thursday. It's expected to break box office records. And still to come on DD India News Hour. Tennis legend Rafael Nadal retires from sport.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India News Hour. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran. In Sri Lanka, nominations for the upcoming general election will close at noon on Friday. The Election Commission has issued guidelines to the parties submitting national list candidates. The poll body has advised all political parties and independent groups contesting the election to submit a list of suitable national list nominees during the nomination period. Meanwhile, several of the major political parties contesting in the upcoming general election have submitted their nomination papers so far. According to the Election Commission, a total of 33 independent groups and political parties have already submitted nominations to contest the general election. Marking the 7th day of the ongoing 10-day-long Dashain festival in Nepal, the Phulpati ceremony is observed on Thursday. Dashain is the biggest festival in Nepal, where there are family gatherings and people celebrate it with tradition and great fervor. On the occasion of Phulpati, people offer sacrifices in temples and bring assorted holy leaves and flowers inside their homes. Here's more from our correspondent in Kathmandu.
Phulpati is an assortment of sugarcane, turmeric, ginger saplings, bale patra, delicacies, flowers and fruits that are anointed and taken inside the home and Shakti temples on banana leaves as part of the Phulpati celebration. Common man as well as the state celebrates Phulpati with great fervor. In a Phulpati Badhai ceremony organized by the state at Tundikhel in Kathmandu, President of Nepal Ramchandra Paudel, the Supreme Commander-in-Chief of the Nepali Army, was the chief guest. The Phulpati Badhai is a unique celebration practiced by the Nepali Army in continuity to religion, culture and tradition. A palki containing bali shoots called Jamara and Phulpati is brought from Gorkha into Hanuman Dhoka Darbar in Kathmandu with an army parade, Panche Baja band and army music band. Gorkha is 166 km away from Kathmandu, and it has been a unique tradition from the time of King of Gorkha, Prithvi Narayan Shah, to bring Phulpati to Hanuman Dhoka, which continues today. Shweta Singh for DD India, Kathmandu.
And now to all the news from the world of sport. In tennis, star player Rafael Nadal has officially announced his retirement from the sport. Nadal ends his incredible career, which saw him win 22 Grand Slam titles. 14 of these titles came at the French Open, which led the 38-year-old Spanish legend earning the nickname King of Clay because of his dominance on the red dirt. In a video message, Nadal revealed the news and said that he is retiring from professional tennis. He further said that the last couple of years have been difficult for him and he has not been able to play without limitations. The 38-year-old will make his final appearance for Spain and November's Davis Cup finals in Malaga. Another day, another milestone achievement by England cricketer Joe Root. With his 6th double ton, Joe Root now becomes the first international cricketer to reach 20,000 international runs. Here's more.
England cricketer Joe Root created history at the Multan Test, scoring 20,000 runs at an international cricketing event in tests. Hitting his 6th test double hundred as well, Joe Root continued to punish the Pakistan bowlers on day 4 of the first test. Root got to his double hundred in 305 balls, building on his maiden test century. And when Joe Root went past 183 on day 4, he also became the first England batter to score 20,000 runs in international cricket. Root became only the second active international cricketer after Virat Kohli to score as many runs across all 3 formats of the game. Root became the 13th player and the first since A.B. de Villiers to go past 20,000 runs in international cricket. Root has also gone past 1,000 runs in a calendar year for the 5th time in his career. The England batter triggered hopes of him going to break Sachin Tendulkar's all-time test record of 15,921 runs. Not only this, Joe Root also scored his 6th double ton at the tournament. If we take a look at the most double hundreds for England, it has been done by Walter Hammond, who scored 7, Joe Root at 6, Alastair Cook at 5, and Leonard Newton at 4. The latest achievement of Joe Root highlights Root's adaptability across all formats of cricket. Sports Desk, DD India.
The Indian men's team bowed out in the semi-finals and settled for the bronze medal following a 0-3 loss to Chinese Taipei in the semi-final of the Asian Table Tennis Championships. World number 42 Achanta Sharath Kamal found the going tough against his world number 7 opponent Lin Yunju, losing the contest 11-7, 12-10, 11-9. In the following contest, Manav Thakkar lost to world number 22 Kao Cheng-jui in a hard-fought contest. In the third game, Harmeet Desai also had to deal with disappointment as the Indian paddler lost to Huang Gan Cheng 6-11, 9-11, 7-11. Indian women's team had also won the bronze medal in the competition on Wednesday, making it the first ever medal in women's team event for India since Asian Table Tennis Union started conducting the competition way back in 1972. France will aim to climb the standings in their Nations League group when they face Israel in Budapest tonight. This match is being held in Hungary because of the ongoing conflict in West Asia. Les Bleus struggled in the opening game, losing to Italy after taking an early lead. However, they bounced back with a win over Belgium in their second match. Here's more.
Israel and France clash in the round 3 of the Nations League, with both teams determined to secure the 3 points needed to advance to the next stage. Israel head into this encounter having lost their first 2 matches against Belgium and Italy. However, they managed to score in both fixtures, making this clash even more challenging. France have had mixed fortune so far. They began their Nations League with a 3-1 defeat to Italy in Paris despite leading, but they bounced back with a comfortable 2-0 win against Belgium.
I take on this responsibility with great pride. We had a discussion with the coach and afterwards he informed me of this decision. As I said, it's a matter of pride, so I'm very happy. As I said, the most important thing for me is to help my team, whether it's with the French national team or at Real Madrid.
Mbappe, who joined Real as a free agent from Paris Saint-Germain during the closed season, has faced criticism in France for not taking part in the games in Budapest and Brussels while being fit to play for the Spanish club.
Le match du week-end, pas en entier.
Mbappe played this weekend match, not the entire game and not at 100% of course. Is it good for the player? Is it good for the French squad? That's the question. And I don't think so. After that, through discussions, there was no request made, but the decision is mine to make as it is for any coach, based on the information I have at that time.
Israel are hosting their home games in Hungary due to the Israel-Gaza war.
The situation in Israel is really difficult at the moment. I don't think you can realize how the situation is difficult when soldiers defend our borders, kill for our country some hostages that we hope so much that will come back soon. Some situations that happening during this year that keep happening, so this situation is really difficult for us, but in the other side we know that we have the privilege to give some hope and some moment of happiness for our nation, for our people that stay in Israel, and feeling proud that we are representing Israel.
A win for the visitors could propel them into the top spot in Group A, while a win for Israel would see the group blow wide open at the halfway stage. Sports Desk, DD India.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of DD India News Hour. You can get all the latest news and updates on the DD India mobile app. It's available on Android and iOS platforms. You can scan the QR code on the screen now to download it. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. You can also check out our website ddindia.co.in. We will be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Ramesh Ramachandran from all of us here in New Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India News Hour.